Welcome back to Prop the Props, where we give you our favorite MLB, NBA, and NFL picks all season long. Of course, we might sometimes throw in some hockey or soccer if we don't have any MLB, NFL, or NBA going on at that current moment. But if we do, those are the sports I tend to stick to just because those are my three favorite sports and the most common sports that I am watching at any given moment. But as you see here, we do have my prize picks code PR-ZF7 or ZF7F3IK, again PR-ZF7 F3IK for anyone who does need that code for a 100% deposit match on your first $100. Anyway, let's get into the picks. We got Lane Thomas as the first pick. I'm going to be choosing his fantasy score over. We do see that he's batting just about 300 on the season at 299 with 14 homers, 50 RBIs, 8 stolen bases. We're also going to be talking about Luis Garcia because he is another person I am going to be taking. Going to be going over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. He has a 265, 5 homers, 37 RBIs, 5 stolen bases. Now, the stolen bases don't really matter for him since it is hits, runs, RBIs. As you see here, this is the history. Garcia is 4 of 5, 80% with 1 RBI. Do you think he could get a run? Lane Thomas, 444 on 9 at-bats. He's got 1 home run as well as 1 RBI. That would be on the home run, of course. But they both do have good history versus Drew Smyly. So, should be a game that both of them could have a solid game. Lane Thomas, hopefully maybe he gets a double or something. That would help a lot more with his fantasy score. But, he is hitting 444. And I do like this spot for him. First, we're going to be looking at Lane Thomas, and as you see, he is 1 of 6 in his last 6 at-bats. He's 14 of 50 on the month, which would be about a 280, so about 19, or not 19, about 19% under what his averages are on the season. And, this is just a spot I do think that he could get it done in. A lot of people are batting pretty well and do bat pretty well here in the month of June, July. These warmer months where that ball does travel just a tad bit further. And so I do think that he is going to be able to get this done, especially having gone hitless. Yeah, he only had 2 at-bats. Looks like he did probably have a walk, but still. With Luis Garcia, he's 0 of 7 in his last 7. Again, it does look like he had a walk in the second to last game. But, 0 of 7 in his last 7. He's a 265 guy. And he's batting 6 of 34 on the month of July. And you average that out, that's about 3 of 17. Not very good when it comes to his averages. Even if you put it at 6 of 20, you extrapolate that into a percent, you're looking at about, at that point you're pretty solid. You're about 300. But that's if you give him 3 more at bats and all 3 were hits. Then he'd be basically looking at a 200 average or a 300 average. So he is under that. He is probably closer to about with it being 6 of 17, or 3 of 17 rather, he'd be just about 1 of 6. So that's under 20% in the month of July. Not very good, especially with a guy like Luis Garcia. Ellie De La Cruz, next person I want to talk about, only 138 at-bats in his career. 297 average, though, 4 homers, 16 RBIs, and 16 stolen bases. That is just crazy numbers. 16 stolen bases, That's going to be very helpful for us because he gets on base, he steals once. That's 5 fantasy points right there. And and to get on base, you need at least 2 fantasy from a walk. So that puts him at 7 right off the bat, just from a walk and a stolen base. If he singles and gets a stolen base, now he's at 8. And that's pretty solid. I do believe his fantasy score, I will show it later, but I do believe it is set at 8. So that right there would be a push on its own right there. He comes around for the score. Now he's over. You look at his last game logs, he is 0 for 9 in his last 9 at-bats. Not very good in his last 3 games against Milwaukee. His first 3 against Milwaukee prior to the All-Star break was pretty solid, but since the All-Star break coming back, he's 0 for 9, and I do not expect that to continue. You never know. Baseball, anything can happen in any day. But you see that hit streak he had. He had a few games before that where he didn't get a hit. That was against San Diego, and that was before the All-Star break. Then he found a groove. Maybe he was just needed a little bit of time, This will be his 4th game back since the All-Star break. I think he has a very, very good chance. Or no, he's not even 0 of 9. My bad. He's 0 of 12. Don't know where I got that 0 of 9, but point is, he is due for a hit. He's due to go over. Next one, we're talking about a Nerfy. Yes, no run first inning. And we're going to be talking about Shane McClanahan and Dane Dunning, both under 3 RBI or under 3 ERA guys. And not only that, but Shane McClanahan 11-1 on the season as a whole, 101 strikeouts. Very good pitcher this year. He is, of course, Tampa's ace. We got another ace in Dunning for Texas. One of their better pitchers that they have on the roster, 8-2, 2.84 ERA. And you take a look at the history that the Texas Rangers have against McClanahan. There's not a whole lot of sample size besides Marcus Semien. He is going to be batting first, or at least typically bats first. We don't have the confirmed batting order at the moment. However, like I said, he does normally bat first, so I wouldn't be surprised if he is one of the first 3, and he's batting an 8.3% against Shane McClanahan. And typically Adolis Garcia would be in that top 3. He's 0 for 3 against McClanahan. So I do think McClanahan gets out of there with the first run, no first inning runs allowed. And then next, I'm talking about Dane Dunning, going about against the Rays, and Arozarena is one of the first 3 batters. That is going to be at the top of the order. I believe Margot is also at the top of the order. Again, you see these guys are just not hitting these pitchers well. And so, I mean, the odds, I would say, of no first inning runs allowed, no run first inning, I mean, I'd say it's pretty darn good in this spot. So the 4 picks I'm going to be taking are Ellie De La Cruz over 8 hitter fantasy score. Lane Thomas 7.5 over on the hitter fantasy score. Luis Garcia, we're going to be taking 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And Shane McClanahan, Dane Dunning, less for the no runs first innings. These are going to be the picks. Ellie just needs to get a hit, hopefully a stolen base and a run. I think that's very feasible for a guy like Ellie. Lane, we just need a hit, a run, and RBI, or and not even necessarily on the same play. That definitely would get him over, though. But, I mean, even if it was just double and he scores a run and he gets walked, that works too, and I think he definitely has a good look here. Luis Garcia, we already talked about it, we've already been through this. Anyway, just gonna end it off here. If you do need that code, here it is again. Go ahead and open up that app, PR-ZF7F3IK. Get your $100 deposit match, or your deposit match up to 100%, or whatever you deposit, basically. Go ahead and use that. Get your deposit match. Tell your friends. Get them hooked on it. Start winning money. And Hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Thank you.